Hi guys, Goggle1 back. 3 down, 1 to go. The NECA 1/4 scale 1990 movie Ninja Turtles just keep on rolling. And this time I have finally gotten my hands on Leonardo. I ordered him from America. He's travelled quite a bit. I think he's been through every state in America practically. And he's been through actually different towns in England as well. So this is the first time I'm getting a look at this. Like I said, I haven't unboxed him yet, and I have no idea what to expect. I could pop this box open in a second and have bits of a figure fall out. So God knows what I'm going to see yet. Just give a quick show of my Donatello and Raphael. There they are, just standing on the shelf looking all dapper and cool. I've got the little miniature 1990, maybe I suppose you'd say the 80s, early 90s. I think they're the Playmate 1990 Ninja Turtle cartoon versions standing in front. And obviously Leonardo and Michelangelo are there. Really looking forward to Michelangelo. He was my favourite Ninja Turtle. So seeing this guy will be absolutely awesome. So without further ado, let's pop this box open and see what we've got. You see my arm getting in front of the camera a bit? Let's have a look. It's been a while. I've been really looking forward to these. These are some of the 1/4 scale figures that I absolutely had to own. The sculpt and design of these things are phenomenal. Some of the best work NECA have ever done. And I think I have a reasonable theory as to why that is. And I'll probably share that in a little video soon as to exactly why these NECA Ninja Turtle figures are actually so good. And it's partly to do with the fact that these characters, or these figures, the actual character designs are, well, practically naked. There's some foam padding there. Sellotape's loose on that part. Here we go. Bit apprehensive as to what to see. He won't even fit on my shelf that way. So we'll plonk him here on his side for a second. This is the front of the box. I think we've all seen that. There's the bottom half. Still got some of the promo stills that were from the movie. I mean, there was literally like 8 or 9 pictures that were shared around when the film was first released, and the pictures just kept appearing over and over again. There's a Nickelodeon logo. There's a Leo. I'm still a bit pissed about the fact that the licensing in the UK meant that they couldn't sell this figure. There we go, there's the top. There's some pictures of the figure again. There's an explanation. If you want to pause, you can pause. There's another promo picture that was all over the place when the film was first released. And there's that terrible little logo in the bottom part that makes it look like it was made by a 5-year-old. I hate that. Hate that logo. And again, you got the side. And that's it. Right, I'm going to pop this guy open. Let's see what we've got. I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch the entire unboxing because there's a lot of twisty ties on this thing and it'll drive me fucking nuts filming it. So I'm just going to quickly pop this guy out of his box and then we'll see what we've got. You fucking twisty ties. Just a quick tip, if you guys are struggling to undo the twisty ties, there is a almost easier way. You either cut them or you take the middle part here, you see this bunched up bit, and you untwist this. And most of it will come undone pretty easily after that. See? Twist, twist, twist. Okay guys, I'm going to carry on doing this. Speak to you in a sec. And here he is finally out of the box. I've put Raphael and Donatello next to him just so you can see exactly sort of height scales and, you know, the ratios of them all. They're all pretty much the same height, give or take a few moments, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, no, Raph's got his legs spread out a bit more, so he's probably the same height. My first initial impressions on unboxing him is he looks amazing. Seriously, I was absolutely blown away when I opened him up. I was blown away by all of them, to be fair, but for some strange reason when I opened this guy, it just looked really, really good. There are some notable differences between them. Obviously, the head sculpt is actually very different. There's also some, the upper arms are a different sculpt. As you can see, I think Donatello and Raphael have pretty much the same arms with different paint apps on, but Leo actually has veinage in the bicep that the other two do not have. I think the front of the shells are exactly the same, but the shells, the pattern on the back of Leo's shell is different. I'm trying to figure out whether or not the Raphael legs are the same as the Leo legs. I think they are. Yeah, I think all the legs are the same. I can't really see any difference in any of them. Maybe Donnie's not got some veins in there that the other two have. Let me just have a quick look. No, he still has some veins in there, so they look to be the same. I decided to take a look at the accessories and see exactly what comes with this figure. A lot of people have said the hands are pretty much the same across the board. There's two different variations of some of the hands. One's with an up and down swivel, like a joint there, and a few with a one that goes left and right, so there's adjustments in the hands. One of the things you have to note when you get these guys is that there is paint inside the joint here, so they're practically glued in place when you first get them. Best thing to do, warm it up with a hairdryer and wiggle it left and right. Don't go too hard, you'll snap this bit. Just warm it up slowly and just move it left and right gently until it becomes loose, and then you can move it left and right. It's also ratcheted a little bit, so you know it's going to be stiff, so don't force it. Don't just keep bending it, because then you will end up snapping this part here and then the hand will be rendered useless. But look at the hand, look at the sculpts. They're also really good on these figures, and I've said it before, but I know exactly why these are so well done and why they are so sought after. Now, not only are the sculpts really, really good, but these figures themselves, the actual character designs, work really well with the plastic that NECA use. A lot of the figures that NECA do, especially in 1/4 scale, are covered in clothing, like the Deadpool figure. But the problem with that is that when you sculpt that out of plastic, you end up getting a 1/4 scale giant plastic figure. It looks like a giant toy. But with these guys, because they're practically naked, it's just mostly skin with the elbow pads and a little bit of strap in there that you can get away with as a little bit of material. You can practically get away with making these out of plastic but still look very movie accurate, and that's really important, because there are figures and there are some really nice sculpts that NECA have done with, say, the Christian Bale Batman Begins. The face is great. The 89 Batman was really good. I think the Maya Penguin was awesome, as well as the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. The last few have been great, but they're all supposed to have clothing on, but mostly are made of plastic. So the only way that they tend to work so well is because they have a cape or a coat or a hat and a coat sort of combo that covers over most of that, and it just adds a little bit more depth to the figure. If they were pure giant bits of plastic, they wouldn't be so highly regarded, I don't think. I think it's really important to have those elements, and I really like the fact that they've used the back of the bandana, they've used material, and I understand they couldn't do that with the sculpt, because in fact the movie doesn't even use material when it's doing the actual eye band. They just sculpted it into the actual animatronic head and then just put some material on the back. So again, these are really accurate to what the actual Jim Henson team did with the original designs. And that's why these are so accurately and well done, and why we love them so much. The joints are not hideous, they don't get in the way too much. They are really well done from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, and that's why people love these figures. Anyway, I'm ranting now, but one of the differences I've noticed also with the canisters, and I don't think anyone's mentioned it. It's not a big thing, but you know, no one's actually said it. But this canister, or maybe they have, I haven't seen any videos that say it. This canister is complete and full. This is the one you get with Leo. It's completely full, completely fine. But the one you got with, I believe it was Donnie, actually has a crack in it. So you've got a canister that's fully working and a canister that's cracked. And also, one of the interesting things I noticed was the lids come off. There you go. You pop the lid off, and then you can sort of have it posed with the lid sort of falling off. Not that that matters very much, but it was just something I noticed the other day. I didn't realise when I first got the figure. But there you go. And he also comes with the exact same slice of pizza they all do, which is fair enough, because at the end of the day not everybody's going to buy all four, and what's a turtle without the pizza? So it's only fair that everyone gets a crack at a whip. I would have liked to have seen some variants in the actual accessories, but apparently NECA are considering doing an accessory pack as well, where you get little baby turtles as well. So that'll be interesting if they actually release that. There might actually be a Comic-Con exclusive. I'm really surprised by the size of the swords. They're bloody massive. They're absolutely huge. I mean, I know they would be quite large, but as you can see, my shelf is about just the height of the turtle, just a bit taller, maybe a 1 to 2 centimeter gap. So I can't put the swords in the sheath on the back because my shelf isn't high enough to have them put into his actual into their sheaths at the back. That's a bit of a shame, but you know, that's just the way it has to be. If that's the way they were designed in the movie, to stand up quite high, then that's the way it's got to be. I'd prefer it was movie accurate, and rather than the convenience of displaying it on the shelf properly, I can always take them out and have them in hand, or just have them laid by his feet if I really wanted to. So it's not too big a deal, but that is just a little heads up. If you've got Donnie and Raph and you've just about got enough headroom for them, but not too much, then you may have to consider lowering the shelf again, because Leo swords will take the height of the actual figure up another couple of inches. But as you can see, he looks really good. We're going to go and zoom in here. Zoom, Bill. Let's get in there. I'm going to try and do this. I'm trying to do this from a distance, but there's not much I can do. So glad I got these guys. These are so good. They were worth importing, to be honest. I was really worried when I found out the licensing for England wasn't allowed and they wouldn't be selling them over here. But I just had to have them, and I got them from eBay, and I paid the import fees and everything, and they're still worth it. I mean, Americans are getting these for $100 to $110, and they're getting the bargain of a lifetime. It is a bargain for the price they're selling these. A bargain. But even for the price I paid, which was £142 each, including import taxes and shipping and stuff overseas, still worth it. So don't be worried. If you were sitting on the fence thinking, I don't know if I should get these. Yes, you should get these. These are definitely worth it. You can see the head sculpt there. The Leo, I think his eyes are fine. Pretty sure his eyes are okay. They're not too bad. The more you look at one and then the more you look at the other, then you start losing it and thinking, oh no, they might be a bit wonky. But then when you actually just stand back and look at it properly, no, it's fine. And then you can see the skin texture in there and the paint apps. They're almost like they got the Jim Henson team that painted the original suits in to do it. Yeah, they might as well have. That's how good the paint applications are on these. And it works so well for the creature design. You can see the strap has got some weathering on it as it reaches around the back there. You can see on the arms he's got different layers of spotting. The sculpt with the veinage in the biceps really great. He's actually got some battle damage on the actual strap there. The actual little silver buttons are there, so you can see that. If we move across, you can actually see I haven't bent the arms up enough to try and hide that joint a little bit, but you can see the sculpting in the elbow pads is the exact same sculpting as all the others, and that's exactly how it was in the movie. I don't think anyone's going to lose any sleep over the fact that they probably used the same sculpt for that. The front of the shell also looks to be exactly the same. It's washed differently, but then I think they're all washed very differently. And as you go down, it's just 6 panels all the way through. The wrists again are great. Got the wrist straps, very nicely weathered, exactly the same as the other two. And you've got these hands. I've told you about the hands, they're great. And then you get the swords. Oh my god, the swords are massive. Really nice as well, really good sculpts. And gotta give praise to the sculptors for actually getting movie accurate weaponry, because the Ninja Turtles in the original movie, it looked like they'd made their own, because they obviously couldn't buy them, so they had to actually make their own. And these are really rustic and homemade, and they look fantastic. The metal spray paint isn't too good. It's okay, but it does look a little bit like, you know, acrylic silver paint, which is a shame. But that's just the way it has to be. You can always respray them if you want a more chrome shine to the actual swords. Like I said, especially if you're getting these for $100, it's totally worth it. And you got those fantastic sculpts on the feet. Still great. But I think they are recasts of the same feet as well, because I think they've all got the same markings on. So the feet are all exactly the same. Then you get a big pile of hands, including a pointing finger and 2 open palms and 2 alternative grips for the swords, so you can put them in various poses and do much better. But my god, what fantastic figures these are. I'm so glad I got these guys. There's only so many, you know, when you just have to have a figure, and these are figures that you have to have. If you love the 1990s Ninja Turtle movie, I grew up with that. I was 10 years old when the film came out. I remember looking at newspapers, and I opened up I have to ashamedly admit, I bought the Sun newspaper when I was 10, because they had a centre spread in the middle of the newspaper about the movie that was being made. And they showed pictures of the turtles, and I distinctly remember seeing a photograph of one of the stuntmen, a Japanese guy, dressed in the Leonardo suit, but he had the mask taken off, but he was sweating profusely, and they were talking about how, you know, they were losing pounds and pounds of body weight per day while wearing the suits, running around while doing the action sequences, and they were having to be hydrated every 30 minutes, massively hydrated every 30 minutes, because they were sweating so badly in the suits. You can only imagine what those bloody suits must have smelt like after a day of all the jumping, running, rolling and fighting around that they did in those suits. I mean, look, the padding was absolutely insane. So I remember, you know when something just sticks in your mind, and that stuck in my mind, because when I was watching the film, I was sitting there and I appreciated all the hard work that went into making the movie. The second one was a cop-out. The third one was just dire. But as I was growing older anyway, I wasn't as interested. You know, I was becoming a hideous, deformed teenager, and I was like, oh, turtles, yeah, so lame, man, yeah. But you know, as soon as you hit 30, you start reminiscing about your childhood. You start appreciating all the things that you found exciting a bit more when you were younger, and you literally don't care, and you think that teenage you was an absolute dick for forgetting about all these things in the first place. And I was a dick, but you know, hopefully I've calmed down a little bit now and I'm not such a dickhead. Don't ask my wife, she'll probably say I am. So let's zoom in again. Whee! And there we go. You can see the material on the back of the head that makes the bandana, makes it just look that a little bit more realistic. And then you've got these two scabbards on the back. Sorry, not scabbards, sheaths on the back. And they are very, very interestingly done. They're mostly sculpted. And I don't recall seeing those top bits there open up as much as they do. But they do. And the swords just slide in quite easily. I was apprehensive when I was putting them in first of all, because I thought it might just bend the swords and make them look awkward. But it didn't. And then you've got this really nice sort of rustic, messed up sort of wrappings all the way down him. You've got some material there. And as you can see, this shell is actually different to Raphael's shell. And maybe Donnie's shell as well. Let me just have a quick turn of Donnie. And we'll see the comparisons. Okay, so let's go in. Let's try and zoom in on Raphael and Leo. Sorry guys, I could pull this off and actually do it all by hand. But in all honesty, I'd get shaky hands. And you'd just be like looking at an episode of 24. As you can see, the patterns on the back of the shell there. It's mostly noticeable at the bottom. You can see one big large one on the bottom, one big large swirly pattern on the bottom of his shell. And when you turn to Leo, you can see a smaller one surrounded by three even smaller versions. And you can see all the battle damage on the back of Raphael's shell, where he's a big angry dude. And he's always getting into scrapes. Probably uses his shell a lot to protect. Whereas Leo is probably a more competent martial artist. And he can block easier with his longer swords. He can get a bit more distance away from his enemies. And as you can see, there's these little plastic bits. I think they're plastic, I can't really tell. Hanging around on the back there. Just to add a little bit more depth to the figure. If we go down here and look at the back of the legs, you can see, other than the paint app, they're exactly the same legs. Same veinage, all the way through. Okay guys, that is it for the moment. I'm probably going to try and warm up the joints a little bit and try and get these guys into better poses. But that's it for the moment. I don't do reviews, like I said. If you want to go see a review, John Deek's got a review over on his channel. He likes to, you know, pick up these guys and bend them and flex them and, you know, really put them through the mill. So if you really want to see someone bend and flex these guys around and get some good poses, go see John Deek. He's the man for that. But other than that, guys, that is it. I'm really glad I got these guys. I'm just waiting for Michelangelo now. He's my favourite. He will always be my favourite. And I am absolutely going to lose my mind if they manage to pull off a really quality sculpt like they've shown in the prototype. I'm going to be so happy. You guys need to get these ones. I'm super chuffed I have. That's it for now. This is Google1 signing out. I don't even know what that means. Don't know why I said that. I'm talking shit. So yeah, that is it guys. Hope you have a great day. Bye.
Beautiful.